From our previous discussion, we have talked about the adoption and diffusion process of innovation. Ngayon naman, pag-uusapan natin ano ba yung iba't ibang mga factors or elements that can affect yung proseso ng adoption and diffusion ng isang innovation. So review muna tayo. Ano ba ang pinagkaiba again ng adoption and diffusion? When we say adoption is only a decision made by an individual or group to use a new idea or technology. So yun lang yung pinag-uusapan natin. Whether they decided to accept or reject the technology, that is adoption. Ang diffusion naman, we are now talking about the process through which itong mga innovation na to ay nag-i-spread out sa community and sa social system. Okay? So medyo mas maluwang yung scope ng diffusion. Again, adoption, we're just talking about individual or group decision. The decision to either accept or reject the technology. Whereas diffusion, we're talking about the process by which this innovation spreads through the community. Okay? Ngayon, there are several factors affecting the adoption and diffusion of technology. And mahahati siya into three groups. Yung first one is on the factors in relation to the innovation itself. Yung second group would be factors in relation to the client or your farmer. And the third group would be the factors in relation to you as the extensionist. So yan yung mga titignan natin. Okay? Extensionist. So, simulan natin on the characteristic of innovation that affects adoption and diffusion. So we have 5. We have relative advantage, the perceived superiority of the innovation. We have compatibility, nagmamatch ba siya sa current needs, values, and practices of the farmer. We also have complexity, gaano ba kahirap kapag i-adapt yung innovation, how difficult it is to understand in using the technology. We also have trialability. Pwede ba siyang i-test muna ni farmer before adapting it to a large scale? And observability. Is the farmer able to observe yung effect ng innovation? Or are others able to observe, others within the community able to observe yung effects ng innovation if ever na nag-work siya? So these are the 5 factors influencing adoption and diffusion in relation to the innovation itself. So isa-isahin natin. Una, relative advantage. Relative advantage is the degree to which yung innovation is seen as better than the previous solution. So ibig sabihin niya, dapat si farmer, nakikita niya yung innovation, nakikita niya yung technology na pinopromote natin as something better than the traditional way that he or she is doing it. Okay? Ano yung mga factors in relation to relative advantage? Tinitignan ni farmer, syempre, kapag ba ginamit ko yung technology na yan, mas makakatipid ako. That's cost effectiveness. Okay? Kapag ginamit ko ba yung technology na yan, mas mapapataas yung yield ng aking mga pananim. So that's increased productivity. Kapag ba ginamit ko yung technology na yan, magi-improve ba yung quality ng aking produkto? That's improved quality. Okay? So cost effectiveness, gusto natin yung innovation na pinopromote natin kay farmer, mas makakatipid siya. Okay? And magi-increase yung kanyang productivity and magi-improve yung quality ng kanyang produkto. Improve quality, probably, for example, dyan is mag-i-introduce ka ng bagong breed ng cow for animal, for milk harvesting sa farm ni farmer. Then, parang maganda yung breed ng hayop na yon, galing ibang bansa. Then, that's improved quality. Okay. Dako naman tayo sa susunod. Compatibility. Compatibility means, is the technology or innovation consistent with the existing values, experiences, and needs of the farmer? Nagmamatch ba siya doon sa doon sa culture, doon sa current practice and needs ni farmer. Ano yung mga kino-consider natin sa innovation in assessing its compatibility? Una is cultural and social norms. Okay? Yung bang technology na pinopromote natin, isa ba yun sa mga tinatanggap nila na practices? Like for example, um, yung 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 principle of organic farming, mas magiging effective siya sa mga farmer group na pinapahalagahan ang traditional way of farming and conservation of nature. Diba? So, one example yun. Resource availability. Yung bang innovation mo ay akma doon sa community kasi meron silang additional resources that would support, for example, yung innovation na pinopromote mo. So for example, hindi ka naman po pwedeng magbigay ng high-tech irrigation system sa isang community na walang kuryente, for example, walang kuryente, and hindi ganun ka-high-tech yung lugar. So kasi wala silang resources. So dapat nagmamatch siya dun sa resources mismo ng community. Farming practices. Ang gusto ni farmer, yung mga innovation natin ay umaakma rin doon sa kanilang farming practices. Kasi kung hindi yun akma, masyadong malaki yung adjustment na gagawin niya. And kung masyadong malaki yung adjustment na gagawin niya, malamang hindi niya tatanggapin yung innovation. So that's compatibility. Next one would be complexity. We are talking here about the difficulty in understanding and using the innovation. Gaano ba ito kahirap? Siyempre, kung mas mahirap, mas marerepel si farmer doon sa idea. Kung mas madali naman, edi mas maiengganyo siyang i-adapt ito. What are the influences in terms of complexity? What influences complexity? Una, technical knowledge. Okay? Technical knowledge. Kailangan ba ni farmer ng technical knowledge or hindi? Or kung kailangan niya ng technical knowledge, madali lang bang ituro? Pangalawa would be the time and effort. Kung kakailanganin ni farmer ng technical knowledge, mabilis lang ba niyang matututunan? Or napakahirap? Diba? Pangatlo is user friendliness. Kung sakaling natutunan na ni farmer, ano kaya yung mga resources natin na makakapagbigay pa sa kanya ng additional understanding or magiging review materials niya para hindi niya malimutan kung paano gamitin itong technical knowledge na to. So may available ka bang printed manual? Diba? May available ka bang mga video na pwedeng balik-balikan ni farmer? All of this pertains to complexity. The next one would be trialability. This is very important, okay? This is very important because an innovation that is being promoted by the farmer should be tested. Primarily because of these benefits. Una, gusto natin si farmer, hindi niya makita yung innovation as a risk. So paano natin babawasan yun? Paano natin i-reduce yung perception of risk? Ipasubok natin sa kanya. Subok lang, okay? Hindi pa full scale yung implementation ng innovation. Pangalawang benefit, kapag nasubukan na nito ni farmer at nakita nating maganda yung result, mag-i-increase yung kanyang confidence. So we are moving towards full-scale implementation kapag nakita ni farmer na yung innovation mo works even in small scale. Pangatlo, it facilitates gradual adoption. So hindi lang si farmer yung naaapektuhan dito, pero trialability kasi, kapag nakita rin ng ibang mga community members, which is yung next na factor dito, nakita nila yung trial na maganda, maaring maengganyo din sila to adopt the particular innovation. So the last one is observability, which is the visibility of the results and the benefits of the innovation. Nakikita ba natin yung magandang epekto ng innovation? Napakalaki ng impact po ng observability. Unang-una, it promotes peer influence. Okay? Kasi when the people in the community, the farmers who adopted the technology, and yung peers niya nakita niyo yung magandang effect nung prinomote nating innovation, may engganyo rin sila na i-adapt yung technology. At the same time, magkakaroon ka ng awareness within the community. Okay? Awareness kasi kumari nadadaan-daan lang sila doon sa farm lot kung saan nag-promote ka ng isang makabagong seedling na maganda ang yield, dinadaanan yun everyday ng mga community members. Kapag nakikita nila, mapapaisip sila, uy, ano yun? May bago. Pwede pa kaya nating gamitin din yun? Parang magandang seedling yun. Ayan. And it promotes community-wide adoption trends because it can be observed. Okay? An innovation that cannot be observed, mahirap ipa-adapt yan kay farmer. Kailangan yung innovation natin, meron siyang tangible results. Okay? So these are all the factors in relation to the innovation itself. Ano naman yung mga factors that we consider na nasa side naman ni farmer? Or the characteristic of the farmer itself that is influencing the adoption and diffusion process. Unang-una, malaking effect sa adoption and diffusion process yung educational level ni farmer. Diba, we have talked about the different categories of adopters, right? And isa sa mga napansin natin doon, isa sa mga na-observe natin phenomena doon is yung mga tao na may alam, na maalam, no, nakapag-aral, they are leaning forward to be early adopters and innovators. Tama? Whereas yung mga mababa ang educational level, mostly doon sila sa late majority and laggards. So educational level, kapag mas mataas ang napag-aralan mo, parang we can imply that you are more open to innovation. Whereas kung mababa naman yung educational level, medyo mas mahirap maging open sa innovation. Isa rin, syempre, yung effect, I guess, ng educational level is kapag kasi nakapag-aral yung tao, mas maganda yung estado niya sa buhay, mas may kaya siya. Okay? Mas may opportunity siya na palaguin yung kanyang living standards. Whereas kung medyo wala siyang wala siyang opportunity to create wealth, to create and accumulate wealth. So that's one thing. Family size, very important. Although family size ay maganda, kapag mayroon kang nanay, tatay, tapos yung mga anak ay malalaki na, for extra labor, kung medyo labor-intensive yung innovation na pinopromote natin, hindi siya maganda kapag masyado bang bata yung mga anak. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, there are more mouths to be fed, and kailangan ni farmer ng income and hindi siya magre-risk sa isang innovation na sa tingin niya hindi kikita. Yan. So, yun yung effect ng family size. Farmer's experience, kapag yung experience ni farmer sa isang particular traditional practice na ginagamit niya ay napakatagal na, mas mahirap baguhin yung kanyang isip. Diba? Kasi parang for 30 years, yun ang kanyang ginagawa. At nag-introduce ka ng bago, marerepel siya ngayon dyan. Ngayon, yung mga farmers naman na medyo hindi pa ganun katagal yung kanilang experience on a particular farm practices, mas madali silang ma-impluwensyahan ng bagong innovation na i-introduce natin. Pang-apat would be family aspiration. Of course, gusto natin yung farmer may pangarap siya sa sarili niya at may pangarap siya sa pamilya niya. Kung mas mataas and mas intense yung pangarap niya sa pamilya niya, mas madali siyang ma-impluwensyahan na mag-adapt ng bagong innovation na makakapag-improve ng kanyang buhay. Okay? Tenure status, we're talking here about land tenure. So kapag si farmer may sarili siyang lupa, mas madali siyang, ibig sabihin nun, una, meron siyang wealth, meron siyang asset. So mas may resources siya. Mas madali siyang makapag-adapt ng technology kung gugustuhin niya. Like for example, gusto niyang itry yung technology mo na bagong seedling, pwede siyang maglaan doon sa parcel ng lupa niya ng a portion to trial yung bago mong seedling. Whereas kung si farmer naman ay rumirenta lang ng lupa, mas mahirap ngayon siyang mag-adapt ng technology. Okay? Kasi wala siyang sariling resources. Kailangan pa niyang rentahan yung lupa. So, additional gastos yon. The same time, kailangan pa niyang i-trial yung produkto niya. So, additional gastos ulit yon. So, mas mahirap. Value and belief systems. So, dyan na pumapasok. Dyan na pumapasok yung usapin kanina ng compatibility Dapat, yung ating technology, compatible siya dun sa existing value and belief system ni farmer. Kasi kung hindi, mas mahirap ipa-adapt sa kanya yung technology. And of course, personality characteristics. Ang mga tao naman, ang mga farmers, iba-iba yan. So, meron tayong different personalities that would affect kung i-adapt ba ni farmer yung technology or yung innovation or hindi. Primarily, doon sa, well, meron tayong personality trait test na tinatawag nating OCEAN. Okay? And OCEAN stands for O is openness to experience, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Pero dito tayo magpo-focus. Openness to experience. Si farmer ba ay open sa experience or less open sa experience? Kung open sa experience si farmer, ibig sabihin nun may pagka-risk taker siya. So, mas madali siyang maimpluwensyahan ng mga bagong technology. Kapag si farmer naman mababa ang kanyang openness to experience, ibig sabihin nun, mas conservative siya mag-isip. So, mas mahirap ngayon siyang i-persuade to adopt a particular innovation. Okay. So, now we're done with the characteristic of the clientele that influences adoption and diffusion. Dadako naman tayo doon sa characteristic ni extension worker, ikaw mismo, that influences adoption and diffusion. Una, credibility. As an extension worker, tinitignan ka ba ng mga farmer mo as someone who is trustworthy and expert? Okay? Kasi mahalaga yan. Mahalaga na mayroon kang credibility na binild sa kanila. Kasi kung tingin nila mas magaling pa sila sa iyo, mas mahirap na makapag-introduce or even makapag-adapt ng technology na ini-introduce mo. That's credibility. Pangalawa, homophily. Although pinag-usapan na natin yung credibility and homophily when we're talking about communication nun, homophily pertains to the degree of similarity and rapport with your farmer. Kaya nga, minsan, mas effective yung mga extension workers na graduate sa syudad and bumalik doon sa community nila mismo para maging extension worker kasi taga doon sila. So, naiintindihan nila yung dynamics ng community, naiintindihan nila yung mga different personality traits ng mga clienteles na nandun. So, that's homophily. Parehas ba kayo ng pinagdadaanan? Kasi kung ang tingin sa'yo, for example, ni farmer is sobrang elite, sobrang prestige ng pamumuhay, tapos pumunta ka doon sa community na nakapustura ka pa and naka-heels, hindi niya makikita yung homophily sa'yo noon. Ang makikita niya, parang may pagkamata pobre to, pupunta na nga lang sa field, nakampustura pa. Diba? So, kailangan nating i-adjust yung sarili natin. Kung saan makaka-relate si farmer sa atin. Not the other way around. Okay? Hindi si farmer ang mag-a-adjust sa atin, tayo ang mag-a-adjust kay farmer so that we can build rapport. Okay? Of course, third one would be yung personality trait mo as an extension worker, as a change agent. Unang-una dyan, yung intelligence and knowledge mo. So, kailangan mong i-build din yan. So, hindi ka lang dapat magaling sa agricultural extension, dapat meron ka ring knowledge database on technologies na kakailanganin ni farmer. Dapat maalam ka rin talaga sa agriculture. Empathy and commitment. Kapag ba nagsasabi ng problema si farmer sa'yo, pinapakinggan mo siya with the intent of discovering with the intent of feeling kung ano ba yung pakiramdam kapag ikaw yung nasa lugar niya. So that's empathy, diba? Are you committed to improve the life of that farmer? Kasi kung hindi, mararamdaman yan ni farmer. Wala namang paki yung extension worker. Hindi na lang ako lalapit doon. Yeah, those are the things, no? Resourcefulness and communication skills. So resourcefulness, mahalaga yan. Dapat creative ka sa pagsosolve ng problem ng mga farmers. Kapag may nakita kang resources na pwede nilang gamitin, dapat mabilisan, uma-action ka agad. Pinopromote mo yan kay farmers, sinasabi mo, binabahagi mo na agad yung knowledge mo para magamit na nila agad. And dapat magaling kang mag-communicate. Okay? Kasi kung hindi ka marunong mag-communicate, hindi nila maiintindihan yung innovation na pinopromote mo, hindi sila mag-adapt. Pero kung magaling kang mag-communicate, okay? Alam mo kung ano yung pain points ni farmer, and na iti-tailor fit mo yung communication mo para ma-solve yung pain points ni farmer. For example, yun ang innovation na ma-adapt. We're talking here, communication skills is also related to course, your persuasiveness. And are you genuinely interested sa development ng community? Yun yung importante sa isang extension worker, sa kagaya mo, when you go out to the community and promote a particular innovation.